Welcome to Champions for Life, the radio ministry of First Choice Pregnancy Services here in Las Vegas. I'm Deborah, the Executive Director of First Choice.
And I'm Ken.
And we are Champions for Life.
Champions for Life. Welcome, folks. Welcome to the broadcast today. I am your host, Ken Wilson, and just so delighted to be in the studio with you today. Hope you're having a great day out there in Las Vegas, where it's nice and hot. It's the heat. The heat is on in Las Vegas, and so we hope you're just having a great day. I have the great honor of having a special guest, so you really want to stay tuned to this. But I have Yadasha Jones in here, who is the chairwoman for Moms for Liberty, the Nevada chapter. She is the chairwoman and taking charge here in the state of Nevada. And she got a lot to say because there's some people out there in Massachusetts that we're going to be addressing them and stuff in the news. You don't want to miss this show, folks. But before we get to this. And by the way, speaking of our hostess, Deborah, will be back on the air next week. And she's finishing up a little, I guess it's a little vacacion, out of town, whatever. And she'll be back. So we're looking forward to having Deborah back, the hostess of the show. And she'll be back. So for those who don't know, First Choice is this radio broadcast is an outreach ministry of First Choice Pregnancy Services, which basically is the premier clinic in the nation for women who are seeking help in their pregnancy. And so, what an honor it is to be able to do this show, to let folks know not only what a great ministry this is, but what a great clinic, what a great staff is at First Choice, who daily help moms who are looking for help with their pregnancy. And doesn't matter whether it's their free pregnancy test, which First Choice offers, doesn't matter if it's the free sonograms that are offered. Doesn't matter if it's the free counseling that are. A lot of times what gals come in, there's trouble. They need counseling, need to figure out, what the situation is. Maybe they're looking for information about, what adoption's about, or perhaps maybe they want to know, what does an abortion entail. Maybe they are coming in for a pregnancy or an abortion reversal. Yeah, we had 2 of those last week. Yeah, just last week, and this so far this week I don't know it because I don't have the stats. And but this is a regular thing that's happening. So a lot to talk about today. So welcome to the broadcast. Our telephone lines are open, by the way, 702-650-KKVV, 650-5588. If you'd like to be a part of the broadcast and speak with our very special guest today, Yadasha Jones. So, but before we get to that, I want to acknowledge the sponsors that make this portion of the broadcast possible, such as RTS Postal Express. Now listen, all of y'all are very busy. All of you are, especially if you have a business and you have printing needs, you have copy needs, you have business card needs, you need your logo on your shirt, you need your logo on your coffee cups and your mugs and your thermoses. RTS Postal Express does all of that. Maybe you need your logo on umbrellas. Maybe you need banners for your business. Maybe you need a sign out in front of your business telling everybody what wonderful services that you provide. Listen, RTS Postal Express is going to get more business for your business. Give them a call. Here's their number, 702-489-4859. That's 489-4859. RTS Postal Express. Talk to my man Angelo. And RTS, as far as I'm concerned, stands for really terrific service. Angelo's a wonderful guy. He's going to meet your needs. And you know what? By the way, if you mention Champions for Life radio broadcast, you're going to get 10% off your first order. So make it a big one. Make it a big one. RTS Postal Express, 489-4859, one of the proud sponsors of the Champions for Life radio broadcast. Yadasha Jones in the house. Man, so glad to have you here today. And listen, you are the chairwoman for the Nevada chapter of Moms for Liberty. So Let everybody know what Moms for Liberty is and who you are and what you're about.
Yes. So Moms for Liberty, what we do is we advocate for parental rights across the nation. We're a nonprofit organization, and we want to make sure that every parent nationwide has the right to govern their children the way they want. And right now, many parents do not have that. So we want to make sure every parent is aware of what rights they have in their state.
Right.
So we have different chapters in every county all over the United States.
Wow. Wow. And you happen to be in charge of the largest county in the country.
Yes, the fifth largest district in the United States of America.
Wow.
Clark County.
Wow. And heavy responsibility. And so the idea is you're basically an advocacy for these moms, as the, for public schools. I mean, and what
public schools, homeschool, private schools, and it's not just moms, it's dads too. We have some chapters that is led by grandparents, dads, you name it, guardians. They care just as much as anybody else.
Right.
It's just, the reason why it's called Moms for Liberty is because moms were the ones who created the organization. So they naturally called it Moms for Liberty. But I have met some powerful men that's in those chapter chairs across the nation, and they are Papa Bears.
Maybe we need some Papa Bears for Liberty, but we don't know. Moms for Liberty is going to take care of the whole thing, and I just love it. If you want a lot of information, here's where you go. Moms, it's MOMS, Moms for the number 4, Liberty NV.org is going to get you y'all's website, right?
That is to our email.
So that's your email.
Chair at moms, the number 4, libertynv.org.
Okay.
So if you have any questions or you need help with setting up with our website, you can always email me and I will always respond.
Okay. And so your national website, do you have a national or do you have one local? How does that work?
If you just go to any search engine and put up Moms for Liberty, you could go to our national website and you will see all of the chapters there. You will find Nevada, and it will always take you to Clark County.
Excellent. So there's no way. You're going to find out what y'all are doing. Because you got a school year that's coming up. That's important.
Absolutely, Monday.
And, hey, listen, you need to find out. I'll tell you this. I have 5 children. 2 of my children, 3 of them are still in school, and the other 2 are in college. Okay. And but for 2 of them, this will be the first year since 5th grade that they've been in a public school environment.
Oh.
They'd either been homeschooled or private schooled for most of their education. And so here we go, right? So last week, I walked over to, a particular high school that we're, zoned for. And
Very different, huh?
It's different. It was big, but listen, I was talking to one of the, they got them all enrolled, everything's fine. But I told him, I said, look, I talked to one of the admissions gals, and it's a big, huge office and a bunch of people running around. And I said, well, listen, I got a basic question for you. I said, I got my daughter here, right? And she's 13. She's going to enter in 9th grade. And I got my son here. He's going into 11th. And I said, but I have a question for you. I just want to know, what is your policy? And this is what I asked her. I said, and everybody could hear. I said, will biological males be allowed in the women's restrooms and locker rooms? Wow. I said, there's people wandering around, there's parents sitting on a chair there with their kids. And
I'm interested to know what she said.
And this is what she said. This is what she said. She said, well, she was not apologetic, but she said, we typically have not had any problems in that area. And she said, if there is a situation, typically what's happened is that transgender person would use a private bathroom, restroom facility in our school, and so that there has not been an issue in our school. So, you know what? I accepted that because, and I'll tell you why, because there's no way the school could affect the school board policy. The school board policy is what it is. If you have to make, according to the Nevada Clark County School Board, you have to make the facilities available, and if there's a transgender kid who wants to walk into the little girl's room and he's a biological male, the rules are he gets to go in. And however, this school has stated as though they can't alter that policy, but they have made another facility for that person available so that person isn't uncomfortable. And I said, okay, you know what? I appreciated it, because they were thinking ahead. Right? They were thinking there was an answer, right?
Yeah.
Because because a lot of moms, a lot of dads, a lot of families, Yadasha, are worried.
Absolutely.
They're worried.
Yeah. I get a lot of emails and phone calls from parents, from admin, teachers, and now that you have students,
Mm-hmm.
now that you have students in the public realm, that's where it hits the most. That's where it hits harder, because those students are highly affected by DOE, Department of Education, by the trustees' regulations.
Right.
And that's where parents don't necessarily have a voice. Once your children walk through those doors, you're giving your rights to that school.
That's exactly right. And wouldn't it be nice if you could trust the people that are in charge of your child for 8 hours a day or whatever it is?
It would be nice. And that's how it's supposed to be. And because I pulled my kids out of public school for that reason, as they tried to make it seem like they're helping when in all actually they're hurting. As my daughter came to me when she started ninth grade, this was last year, and she felt uncomfortable because the teachers were pandering to the kids that were part of the LGBT community. They had the flags in the classrooms, and they were telling kids how to behave towards these children. So my daughter was like, they shouldn't have those flags in the classroom because it felt like segregation.
Wow.
And she was right. Just like if you have a BLM flag, or you have you're doing anything of that nature, you're segregating that child. You're saying that you're empowering that child, and you're really not. You're segregating that child, trying to make them feel better, which in fact you're making the other kids feel less valued.
Mm-hmm.
And you, as the teacher, as the admin, as the protector of every child in that school, have the obligation and the duty. You swore that you were going to protect every child.
Mm-hmm.
So why empower any child to feel more superior than any other child?
Yeah, and the flip side is true. Why, if you're going to do that, then what you've done is you've secluded a section too.
Yes.
Listen, maybe look, I'm not going to speak for transgender folks, the kid students, but they may feel, well, here we are now. I'm being I'm being segregated.
Yeah.
In a classroom where I thought we were all part of this school.
Yeah, it's not saying that you can't live your life like that, but why is it where you're now being segregated to where we have to treat you a certain way?
Mm-hmm.
We have to appease to your personality. You're here to learn.
Right.
You're here to be educated. What you do in your personal life has absolutely nothing to do with once you walk through these doors. And that's the problem. So when I brought my child to the admins and I told them, she told them her concern, the admin looked at us and her response was, well, she could sign up for the Black Social Club.
What's that got to do with that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
That was her.
That's your answer?
That was her resolution to what my daughter said.
Oh, wow. That is, you know what?
So I clarified. I was like, what she is saying is you're making the other students feel uncomfortable because you're praising other children based off of a flag in their personal beliefs.
Yeah, so their answer is, let's segregate them some more. Here's your group over here.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of answer? Oh, my God. 702-650-KKBV, 650-5588. If you'd like to speak to Yadasha Jones. And listen, she's invested in this as well because, she's a mom for liberty, but she's got children in the school system and or children age that are school-age children, and so do I, and a lot of you do as well. And as I was just telling her, when I went in there, I wanted to know. I wanted to know, what their policy was as a school, and to be frank, I felt I got the best answer for this particular school than I could, considering the situation of the makeup of our school board currently. So
unfortunately,
it's and it's tough because look. Listen. You know what I did? I'm gonna tell you what I did with my daughter because she's 13, athletic. Right. She'd been running track, right? And she's very active. She's a little athlete. And I said, look, I know you're going to want to get involved in sports in some aspect, right? So
Absolutely.
I know that the girls' locker room is going to be a thing for you because afterwards, you know, you want to take a shower, you want to dress, you want to get out of the uniform with your track clothes, whatever it is. And I said, but here's the deal. I said, listen, I told her, I said, the day that a boy is allowed to walk into your locker room while you're undressing or showering or whatever, I said that will be the last day that you're in that school sport program or athletic program. I said, that's it. You're done. And she, you know what she told? I love my daughter. She said, you know what, Dad? I agree with you. That was already my plan.
Yeah.
You know, she had already told me.
On top of that, if she has to compete against a boy,
And that's a whole nother level.
yeah, she shouldn't have to compete against a boy.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing. You know, the women's group, they fight for those scholarships.
Yes.
The scholarships are important because you want your daughter the best education she could possibly get, and if she gets it because of her athleticism, because she's worked for it,
Yeah.
the last thing she wants to do is get beat by a boy.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, where's the Yadasha? Where is the common sense?
Yeah.
Where-
We're working on bringing it back.
We're working on bringing. You
yeah,
know what?
we're working
Listen,
on bringing it back.
that's Moms for Liberty. Listening, they're championing common sense here in the state of Nevada.
Absolutely.
And that's why we love them. Now, not every state every state should have a Yadash, and I'm sure they are because you said every county's got one. Fighting for rights.
Yeah, most states do have a Moms for Liberty.
And however, we have found, and one of the reasons you're here today
Yeah.
is because in the state of Massachusetts, Moms for Liberty, all you moms out there, have been labeled a hate group.
Yeah.
By, let's see, they are labeled introduced by oh my goodness, the Massachusetts Municipal Training Committee. All right? Now these folks set the training standards and policy guidelines for law enforcement across the state. In other words, they're the ones that write the books, the policy. This is what you're going to do when you do this, Mr. Police Officer. This is how you're going to handle that situation, Madam Police Officer. This is what you're going to do. And so they decided that they're going to lump your organization
Yeah.
with Antifa, with Black Lives Matter, with all these other groups that have been caused that legitimately are hate groups.
Yeah.
You are now lumped together.
Yeah. With the ones that burn buildings.
That probably tear the
and
city down, throw
Yeah.
rocks at cops, that type of stuff.
We have yet to burn down a building. We have not killed anyone.
You're not arsonists?
No, we have not did anything of the such. We are very welcoming moms, dads.
These are moms and
guardians.
dads.
Yes, we are invited to the White House all the time,
My goodness.
and we go to legislative. We go to school boards. We've never been hated so much than by people that want to take rights from parents. And it's so disingenuous and disheartening that the Massachusetts police training put it in their curriculum to educate the new force to think that we hate anyone.
It's I just couldn't. That, and that's why I called you, Dash.
And that is hateful.
That's why I called you. I just couldn't believe. I read this. Let me read this again, and I'm like, how is this possible?
Yeah, it just
This
makes
is
no sense.
This is Moms for Liberty that love children, love kids, love families, and love the Lord, a lot of them, and now they're labeled. Now you're just as bad as Antifa.
All right, and to make to me, just to make it worse, because if you just really look at it, it says we are less welcoming for minority and LGBT students, and it is so far from the truth. Number one, I'm a minority.
Yeah.
And we have my LGBT in Moms for Liberty. We have minorities in Moms for Liberty. But what they like to say so eloquently and they say so often is we're not a part of the agenda. So they do not put us in the news. They do not record us. They do not take pictures of us. They do not talk to us. So when you look on the news, and when you look in the newspapers, you do not see the real Moms for Liberty. They do not talk to us. Because if you look at Clark County Moms for Liberty, search up Clark County Moms for Liberty. I took over Moms for Liberty Clark County a little over a year ago. And before then, all you saw was Clark County Moms for Liberty, a whole bunch of racist hate across the board. And then when I took it over, they interviewed me maybe 2 to 3 times up until they looked at Moms for Liberty website and saw what I looked like.
Wait a minute, this doesn't fit. Wait a minute, what are you doing?
Yes.
Yadasha? Well, how
They
did you...
never interviewed me again.
I don't know. So much for...
They don't, like how they used to come to our events, they don't show up, they don't call, nothing. There's nothing about Moms for Liberty since I've been chair.
Wow.
Because we're no longer part of the agenda in Clark County.
Wow. And here you are, you have moms that are just trying to get together and say, look, we're just trying to take care of our children. Listen, if you're gonna have boys walking into the girls' locker room, or maybe you're gonna be, is the school nurse handing out abortion drugs to our children? Look, I want to know, is there sex education? What kind of sex education is Planned Parenthood in my school? I want to know. I'm a mom.
We need to know what's going on with our children because we have every right to. We are the parents, not you. You're there to educate. That's your job. That's what you swore to do, was to educate children. God gave us the right to parent. So if there's a problem, if our children come to the school and there's a problem, your job is to contact the police, not to try to indoctrinate our children based off of your personal feelings or beliefs. That's not your job. You do not get paid to do that. And the audacity of any trustee, any superintendent, any board member to think that they have any parental right over me or any other parent, you're going to get the fight of your life to think that you're going to parent my child.
Right.
And that's why I do what I do, because I'm my parents' child.
Amen. And that's... Look, I mean, listen, I got 5 kids myself.
Yeah.
I got 5 of them. And to be honest with you, we fought to homeschool and private school as much as we could. As times get on, money gets a little tight. So this was the first year, but you get worried.
Yeah.
Because when you see some of the policies that they have, you see some of the laws that are coming down the pike. When you see, for example, if Question 6 passes, right, where you see that the abortion drug could be handed out by a school nurse because she's considered a healthcare practitioner. Well, wait a minute. Is the school nurse going to be handing abortion drugs to my 13-year-old daughter without you telling me? I mean, I've got a story here in Fairfax County, Virginia, where that particular school is in trouble because the school broke the law because the school themselves they used federal money or school money to allow the minors there, the students, to get abortions.
That's disgusting.
That's not, and the parents never knew. The parents didn't know. In fact, the way they found out about it, if I read the story correctly, was through social media. And that's how they found out. Now they're in a world of trouble. They're trying to, listen, as a parent, we're concerned about some of the things that are happening to our school system,
yes.
Some of the things that are being allowed, some of the segregation, some of the policies.
Yes.
And we have a right.
Yes.
These are our kids. It should be a privilege for you to be able to teach my child. Amen? It's a
yes.
privilege. I'm not giving you the right to, but it's the privilege for you to teach my child.
Yes.
But, there's a certain point where your rights stop. And I love the way you say it. Your job is not to indoctrinate my child.
Absolutely not. And so because your kids are now in public school, I brought something for you for your kids.
Oh, thank you. This is why one of the benefits. This is one of the pluses of being a host of the broadcast. You get stuff firsthand.
Yes. So this is for every, and I mean every parent that is on the listening end. Whether you have a child in the school district, your neighbor has a child in the school district, anybody, they need these documents. They need to submit them to the principal on day one. So I have here, we're going to start with the parental opt-out request. This form, I know you heard of the Muhammad versus Taylor.
But not everybody has. So
Yes. So Muhammad versus Taylor just recently happened, and I don't remember what state it happened. So they were able to stop LGBT education on their children, which is great. But unfortunately, it did not happen in all 50 states. However, it did open a door to where we have our First Amendment rights to say, hey, we do not want our child to be educated on that.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Nevada, we're in a Ninth Circuit, and they can teach our children LGBT. And over the last 2 weeks, I've received over 42 emails from teachers sending me videos and sending me screenshots of trainings that they had to take, saying that they are now having to teach LGBT to the students this coming school year.
Lord have mercy.
So,
Lord have mercy.
Now we're going to start using our First Amendment right as parents. So I have a form here where parents could now start filling out, and they take it to the principal, and now they can no longer
May
teach.
I see that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, this is the parental opt-out request for LGBTQ plus related instruction and curriculum, and undoubtedly this is so that little Johnny is little Johnny, little Susie. If you as a parent feel that whatever type of curriculum is now being taught to your children that that deals with this, if you don't want them sitting through this, you now have an opt-out request that you are going to place into the hands of the principal and the administration of your school, of your public school.
Yes, so
this is great.
Yeah, so that right there is telling them you do not want your child to learn that, and they need to think of another alternative to teach your child, and you want to know what that is and also what the teacher is being trained on.
Mm-hmm.
So this tells them, hey, we need to know what the teachers was trained on from here to here, so we know what all the students are being taught.
And so, then just so that you understand that you don't miss what Yadasha said, is that she's already received 42 emails from teachers that are already in our city and state that are going to be teaching your children. They're already being trained in curriculum.
Yes.
That they are going to be required to teach your child about LGBTQ plus related instruction and et cetera.
These teachers they're just like they don't want to do it, but they don't want to.
But they don't have
pension.
a choice.
They don't want to quit their jobs. They love the children and they want to protect the children. They're being forced to have to take these trainings. They're being forced to have to try to tie this in. It's ridiculous.
Wow. And so what else do you have for us?
Yeah, so this one here is parental rights. You're having the right to know what is in the teacher's manual, what the teachers are being educated on. You're having the right to know if they're teaching your kids about self-incrimination, antisocial, illegal activity, if they're trying to give your child pronouns, if they're trying to teach them about transgendering, gender identity, all of that, religious, anything.
So this document puts the school on notice that you as a parent want to know what the curriculum is that is being taught to my child concerning all these social issues. And this is I am so glad I brought timely.
This also ties into medical as well. So they a lot of times they like to tie in, well, your child is mentally ill.
Excuse me?
Yes. So they have in the schools, they don't just have counselors anymore. They have what's it called, social mental counselors, and that counselor is there to teach LGBT and transitioning.
The counselor?
It is there's a certain word for it. You can't call them counselors, but they are there to help with the transitioning of the students.
Oh, so if a child says, "Well, I'm Bobby today, but I want to be little Susie tomorrow. Can you help me?" You go into the office. They put you in touch with one of the social, whatever that counselor person is, and they're going to see about helping you trench. Oh,
exactly.
Wow.
And there's a form that the student
boy.
fills out to where you don't have to be notified.
The parent does not need to be notified?
Nope. That is Regulation 6161.
Oh, Yadasha, I'm so glad you are here today. Folks, I hope you're listening to this. This is very important. You're about to enroll your child, if you haven't already, into the public school system. And the curriculum here in the state of Nevada, I can't speak to any other state. I'm sure there's some problems out there. But listen, in your state, in Clark County,
Yeah.
you are facing, your child is going to be potentially taught and treated in a certain way that you may not agree with. And the beautiful thing about Moms for Liberty is they've got some forms here that you can put the administration of your school, and trust me when I tell you, I am taking these forms and they will be there tomorrow. Yeah. Signed, dotted, and they will have theirs for my children. That's going to happen tomorrow. Well, I'm so glad you're here, Yadasha.
Absolutely.
Yadasha. Okay, now first of all, hang on one second. Folks, I'm speaking with Yadasha Jones of Moms for Liberty. Moms, the number 4, Liberty. And you can look them up on the web. And we're trying to protect the children is what we're trying to do. And your children, my children, all children.
Absolutely.
And,
every single one, from homeschool to public school.
And there you go. And so that's what we're doing today. And if you have a question for Yadasha, our telephone lines are open, 650-5588, 650-KKVV, and say, you know what, listen, how do I get a hold of these forms? And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But before we do, got to take a moment to acknowledge the beautiful sponsors that make this portion of the program possible. And we're talking about Dr. Ray Kelly and Kelly Chiropractic. Listen, Doc Kelly, in fact, I saw him today. I cannot praise this man enough. Doc Kelly treats injuries from falls, accidents, motor vehicle crashes, work-related stuff. You know, if you've been out of shape from the last election, look, I understand. You need to see a chiropractor, get yourself straightened out. But the treatment doesn't stop there. Listen, if you are in pain of any type, you need to see Doc Kelly because, listen, he treats chronic arthritis pain from inflammation. He even, you know what he was talking to me about today? He was talking to me about acutherapy that he does. Now, it's not acupuncture. Don't get nervous. But for those of you who are suffering from allergies, because it's allergy season, he's got treatments for this for you. It's called acutherapy, and basically he works, there's no needles, trust me, that we don't do that. He doesn't do that. But he uses the same pressure points and techniques that can help undermine your allergic allergy situation from what's in the environment here in Las Vegas because of the season. Listen, give Doc Kelly a call. Here's his telephone number, 702-870-9200. Don't stop living in pain. If I can't tell you anything else, I'm going to give you a testimonial. My daughter, in fact, she was there today with me, was suffering from migraine headaches. She's 13 years old. Said Doc Kelly, said, bring her in. So I brought her in. Sure enough, the migraines were from a misalignment in her neck, so a couple of vertebrae in her neck. Now, we would never have known that. She's an athlete, right? We wouldn't have known that. And listen, since she has begun treatment with Doc Kelly, those migraines for the last 4 or 5 months, she's only had one, and that's because she just had it last week, so she got a treatment today, and she's doing much, much, much better. Give Doc Kelly a call, Kelly Chiropractic. Here's the number, 702-870-9200, 870-9200. Kelly Chiropractic. You can look them up on the website, dockelly.com, dockelly.com. Find out all the wonderful things that he does. It's going to make you feel better without the drugs. Oh, man, I love that so much. I got off the pain meds, and it's just thanks to Doc Kelly. We love him. 870-9200. Kelly Chiropractic, one of the proud sponsors of the Champions for Life radio broadcast. And by the way, if you mention Champions for Life, you're going to get 10% off your laser therapy. The laser therapy is great for relaxing your muscles. For those of you who have muscle spasms like I did, and I'm playing golf again, you'll get 10% off your treatment. Doc Kelly, Kelly Chiropractic, 870-9200, one of the proud sponsors of the Champions for Life radio broadcast. So, Yadasha Jones, Moms for Liberty. She is the chairwoman for the Nevada chapter. And listen, she loves her baby. She loves yours too. And you know what? She's representing. She's representing those because, listen, there's some things that the school board, this isn't reading, writing, and arithmetic anymore.
No.
The letters have now extended to reading, writing, arithmetic, and LGBTQ+. The letters keep going, and a lot of those letters you may not want taught to little Susie and little Tommy. And she's here to let you know that, you know what, you have rights.
Yes.
You are a parent. If you're concerned about some of this curriculum that is being required to be taught to your child, you have rights. And Yadasha is here to make sure that you know about these rights. We have these two beautiful forms right here, and we're going to talk about how you can get your hands on these forms. This is the parental opt-out request so that your child does not have to sit through LGBTQ plus curriculum that's now going to be headed their way. And also, another form is going to say, hey, listen, as a parent, I have a right to see the curriculum that you're going to be teaching to my child. And you have the, look, first of all whether it's history, math, social studies, whatever, economics, whatever it is, physics, chemistry, those books are available to you as a parent to say, hey, you know what? I'm helping you with this. Let me see what the problem is. Let me take a look at the book. We'll find out, because I had physics too. We're going to go and we'll figure this out, right? Well, look, there's books on this LGBTQ curriculum as well. And you have a right as a parent to understand what is being taught to your daughter and your son. You have a right as a parent to know what's being taught.
You should. You should know exactly what your child is being taught. We should have access on day one when it comes to what is being taught to our child, whether it's in the school libraries or whether it's being handed off to the teacher. We should have access just like any admin or teacher.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, we do not, because Regulation 6150 says that we do not get access as parents. Did you know that?
No, I did not. And that's just simply not right.
Right.
I mean,
and we've been fighting for that for years.
Wow. I mean, you would think you would get to know everything that's going to be taught to your child so that you could talk to your child. Well, what did you learn in school today? Well, Mom, this is what I learned. I learned that the Q in LGBT.
Right.
This is not, look, I'm trying to prepare you for college and you're coming at me with letters.
Yeah.
Oh, Yadasha, what are we going to do?
We're going to fight.
And we're going to pray.
We're going to definitely pray. And we're going to keep on making sure that our kids are well protected and speaking up for them and educating them in the right way, in the right manner.
Amen. Now, okay, so tell us, how may we get these parental opt-out requests for Clark County students? How can we get these documents?
Come to our meeting.
You got to come to the meeting. Okay.
Yes.
When is the next meeting?
Our next meeting is going to be August 16th. And the location is to be determined. So if you sign up as a member on Moms for Liberty Clark County website, you will get the address then. Okay.
All right. Now listen, folks, this is important. And we're going to mention this, in the weeks ahead as well. August 16th, first of all, log in to momsforliberty.org, right?
Yes.
And that's the website. That website will take you to the Clark County, the Nevada chapter and the Clark County chapter website. And from there, you're going to find out when this, on August 16th. First of all, put August 16th in your calendar. Mark it down. Say, listen, there's a meeting. This is for the kids, folks.
Yeah.
You need to be there for your children. And I know you want to be. And August 16th, the address and the date and the location, the venue is going to be determined. But once you're on the website, you can email Yadasha and find out more information. You can email her personally and she's going to respond to you, and you'll get all the information that you could possibly need. And I'm so glad you gave me this.
Absolutely.
Look, there's already, first of all, I'm going to tell you this. Planned Parenthood, right? We all know Planned Parenthood. They're the abortion folks.
Yes.
They're the ones that are teaching abortion to little Johnny and little Susie about how to obtain abortions. Well, guess what? You have a right as a parent not to allow your child to sit into that curriculum.
Right.
Again, that is an opt-out request that your little Susie and little Johnny do not have to be indoctrinated by Planned Parenthood in your school. You can request out.
Absolutely, and that is part of this form.
And that's part of this form. That's already a right that you have.
Right.
And so with this opt-out, this will include any LGBTQ related curriculum that, listen, I want my kid learning science and math and history, please.
Right. My thought to it is, what's more important, your child learning LGBT or cursive writing? What's more important, your child learning the law or learning about if it's a it, them, they? Come on
please,
now.
please don't come home with pronouns. Don't get me going with the pronouns.
It makes absolutely no sense.
Oh, Lord have mercy. All right.
Multiplication.
With the math, bring back the math, please. And never would.
Right.
Oh, Yadasha. My goodness. Here's the number: 702-650-5588, 650-KKVV. If you'd like to talk to Yadasha, if you have questions. But listen, if you're a parent and you love your children and you want to make sure that what they're studying and you know about it, and you're understanding what the curriculum is, or if you already know enough and you don't want your child to be a part of it, you have to be involved. You have to get involved. August 16th, put that in your calendar. Log into moms4liberty.org. That's moms, the number 4, liberty.org, and get yourself signed up so that you can be informed about what's going on in Clark County, because it's crazy.
And I'm going to say this. I know some people sitting there and like, well, I have amazing teachers. I'm very involved in the school, and my teachers share all of the curriculum with me. And they're very awesome teachers, which it is some amazing teachers out there. And by the grace of God, they have amazing admin where they find loopholes to keep this stuff away from the students. There are amazing admin out there that stops these things at the front door.
Yeah.
So it's not every single school, but there are some schools out there that are pushing this. And when you're handed from Mr. Thomas, teacher Mr. Thomas, saying this is the curriculum, that is not all of the curriculum, because the curriculum they're being taught on the back end that they have access to, parents do not have access to. And this is what I was told and shown by teachers.
I don't know how, a parent can look at this and say, my goodness, you're showing me a piece of the curriculum, but there's more of the curriculum that's not being shown to me that you are teaching my child, and I know nothing about it as a parent.
Yeah.
I have a right to know what is being taught to my children.
Yeah.
I have a right to know. Because I am a concerned parent. I want to know what is being taught. And if it's not math and science and it's something else, it's something else that is, social or something, or going to cause segregation or boundaries placed between people, or is going to give certain people privileges over others, and my children have to negotiate this, I need to know as a parent.
Absolutely.
I want to know.
You're
and I
the
know
parent.
you do as well. So listen, log in, folks. Write this web address down. It's momsforliberty.org, MOMS, the number 4, liberty.org. And log in, become a member, register, subscribe, do everything you got to do. My goodness. Yadasha? I know. A lot of people ask me, say, Kenny, what is this world coming to? It's coming to an end. It's coming because of these policies.
We're just waiting for Jesus to come.
We're waiting for him to come back and say, put an end to this nonsense, because we just want a little common sense.
Yes.
I'm glad to see, like, for example, in the Olympics, I have a cousin that swam in the 96 and 2000 Olympics for his country in Honduras, because I'm part Honduran.
Nice.
And so, but the Olympics finally woke up and said, hey, you know what? Maybe it's not a good idea that male Olympians compete against female Olympians for the medals. You know, they finally woke up and said that this is not going to happen anymore. So hooray for the Olympics. Hooray. If you're a man, you're going to be competing against other men. If you're a female, guess what? You're going to be competing. Because in some sports, I mean, there's no way the women can win, you know, in some sports, especially on the Olympic level. So, but we're hoping that this common sense would then extend down towards, you know, little Johnny and little Susie in middle and high school, you know?
Absolutely. We want to make sure that every child is protected. We're not, this is not saying that whether Bob, Sue, Joe want to live their life the way, whether you want to do LGBT, you want those pronouns to your child, or if they want to do them themselves, by all means, do that way. But don't try to force it on other people.
Right. That's exactly right. And that's what it's saying. You know, the curriculum is going to be what it is in the public schools, in the government schools. It's going to be what it is. But we as a parent not only have a right to know what that curriculum is, but we also have a right to say, you know what, my son's not going to be sitting in there. If it's not going to be math, science, history, English, if it's not going to be those things and you got some kind of social thing going, you know what, my child's out.
Exactly.
My child's out. And this form right here, the parental opt-out request, is I'm telling you tomorrow. I'm handing this tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
For both of my children that they're going to get both of these, because I want to see the curriculum, and I also want to say, listen, I'm opting out. And look, folks, you need this form. You absolutely need this form. So listen, mark this date down. August 16th is going to be the next meeting. The venue is to be determined yet, but August 16th, there's going to be a Moms for Liberty convention, seminar, whatever it is, right here in Las Vegas, here in Vegas, right?
Yes.
And we want you there. Mom, dad, uncle, caregiver, guardian, be there. And get these forms so that you are prepared. You are prepared to protect your children in our government schools, in our public schools. And you know, I do want to give a shout out. I happen to know a few teachers, and they're wonderful folks. The teachers that I know are beautiful people. They are fighting for their kids. They really, really are. All of them.
Yeah, amazing
right?
teachers.
Amazing. In fact, last night at our service, we were praying for one of the teachers in our Bible study. You know, that God would bless him. Turns out he's a physics teacher. And just praying for him that God will bless him and give him the strength to endure. But these teachers, a lot of them, their hands are they're handcuffed by the curriculum that are being required to teach because of the Clark County School Board.
And that's why they reach out to Moms for Liberty, because my thing is, you don't have to be on the front end to get your point across. We're here to help you regardless, whether you're an admin, whether you're a teacher, you're a parent, even if you're a neighbor. If you see a problem, you know something's going on, you have the proof, send it, because I don't take anything for face value. Just because someone call and say something, I'm not going to say, oh, well, somebody said this. No, I need the proof.
Right.
Because I'm going to do the research. I'm not just going out waving things or saying anything. I need valid proof, and I need to I want to make sure that I'm letting people know what's going on in the community. Mm-hmm. So when I'm trying to fix things, we're fixing it wholeheartedly for every child.
Right.
And that's why I ask people, just send it through email, and if you don't want anybody to know that you're working with Moms for Liberty, that's fine. We have many admin and teachers that work with Moms for Liberty nobody knows about.
That's right.
And that's perfectly
It's
fine.
privacy. It's privacy.
Yeah, that's your rightful choice. Can't nobody tell you how to do your job. Mm-hmm. And as you as an admin, you as a teacher, if they're forcing this on you, you have every right to protect your job, but at the same time protect those children.
Amen. Amen. Now listen. Now some of you are taking notes, and you listen. You've got questions. You want to reach Yadasha and say, Yadasha, listen. I got a question about this, that, and the other. I want to get a hold of her. Now listen. I'm going to give you her personal email. All right, and it's chair. CHAIR, chair at momsforlibertynv.org. Again, that's chair at momsforliberty, the number 4, libertynv.org. And send off your email and say, Yadasha, please let me know, when that meeting is or whatever it is that you want to ask her, how you can become more involved. Maybe you're a mom out there and say, you know what? A lot of my neighbors have no idea about this issue. They have no idea about because they, like most people, they trust the school that they're sending their children to.
Yes.
And there should be an element of trust there. But you know what? This curriculum is breaking that trust because now the parents don't get to, there's now a secret indoctrination that you know nothing about.
Absolutely.
And you have a right to know. You have a right as a parent to know. So if you're in that community, if you're in your neighborhood, whatever it is, and you say, well, you know what? There's a lot of kids in my neighborhood. They're all going to these public schools, but they have no idea. These parents have no idea. All my neighbors whom I love and I see, they have no idea. You can be an advocate for Moms for Liberty, not only for Moms for Liberty, but more specifically for your children and the children in your community and their loving parents by being a part of Moms for Liberty.
Absolutely.
And we love Moms for Liberty, and these crazy people in Massachusetts who are labeling y'all a hate group along with Antifa. Listen, if Antifa was like this, there wouldn't be any complaints.
Yeah.
If Antifa cared about the babies like this, listen, there would be no uproar.
Yeah, but my thing when it comes to Massachusetts labeling us a hate group, don't you think it's pretty hateful that they labeled moms as a hate group?
Real, isn't that something?
Like, have you seen the moms?
Look, you're making the moms mad is what you're doing by labeling them a hate group. That's what's happening. Oh,
Yeah,
my goodness.
that was pretty hateful.
It used to be a time, Yadasha, back when we were in school, and I was in school, because I'm older than you. You know what? The parent-teacher organization, you were encouraging the parents to get involved. The schools were yearning for the parents to come in and be involved with their student, so that little Johnny and little Susie would be excelling, right?
Yes.
Now, Yadasha, it's not that way anymore.
Not at all.
It's not. The parents are the enemy. The parents are the enemy, Yadasha.
Yes, all the time.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
They could take your rights at any moment.
Oh, my goodness. All right, listen, folks. Yadasha Jones, Moms for Liberty, chairwoman of the chapter in Clark County and for the state of Nevada. I guess you got the whole state? Is that
Yes.
She has the entire state of Nevada, so it doesn't matter where you're hearing this broadcast. If you're hearing it up in Reno or Lake Tahoe, doesn't matter.
We're migrating all the way up north.
Yeah.
So if you're out there north and you want advocacy in your county, we could come there. All you have to do is email me.
Yeah. We're coming. We're coming to help you help your children.
Yes.
Because, there's people that are looking upon your children as the next change, this new type of society that, Yadasha, I'm going to go crazy over this. I'm so glad you're here today. I am so glad you're here today on the Champions for Life radio broadcast. Oh, my goodness. Chair at momsforlibertynevada.org. Chair at momsforlibertynv.org. You can send Yadasha an email and say, listen, I want more information. I need to get involved. I need to subscribe. I need to let my community know about what's happening in Clark County. And I want to say something else. There has been some progress made. Elections matter, folks.
Oh, yes.
The school board is made up of elected officials, of people that we elect and put on the school board. Right? And we've made some progress, but there's work left to be done.
Yes.
And we would not be fighting these issues like this if we had a family-friendly school board who is not hiding curriculum from parents.
Yes. And there are 2 seats that we're looking to fill coming up in 2026. So no matter where you're at, you will want to know who the trustees are in your neighborhood. Are they advocating for you in the right way? Are they advocating for the neighbors next door? Because even if you don't have children, and this is my mindset off of it, If I didn't have children and there's children living next door to me and they're not paying attention to their children, but I am, is little Johnny going to rob me tomorrow?
Yeah.
Somebody needs to advocate for little Johnny because I don't want to be robbed by little Johnny.
Right. That's right. And listen, Moms for Liberty. Listen, Yadasha, we come to the end of the broadcast. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your work.
Absolutely.
Thank you for looking out for our folks. Folks, it's the end of the show. Listen, if you have any questions, please give us a call. And remember, you also can be a champion for life.
Thanks for joining us for the Champions for Life radio broadcast, the outreach ministry of First Choice Pregnancy Services.
Join us every Thursday at 12:30 on KKVV 1060 AM.
If you or someone you know need help with your pregnancy, or if you wish to visit or support our clinic and radio ministry, please call 702-294-CARE. That's 702-294-2273.
Or visit us at fcpschampions.org. That's fcpschampions.org.